Money can feel so complicated at times. What even is the purpose of money? I'm Kyle Guerin, and today I want to get back to the basics. Do not overcomplicate money. It was never meant to be a difficult thing. Money is to provide for you and your family. It is to secure those things which you need. It is also to provide for others. If you have money, you can help and you can meet needs. God doesn't only want His children to have their needs met, He wants them to be like Him. He wants them to meet the needs of others. That's it. That's the purpose of money. Today in the church, we see this concept that it is more holy to give to the church and to ministries. It is selfish to want to spend more than what is required on our families. This ultimately comes from the prevailing culture of the world around us right now. We are told that it is evil to be a millionaire. It is selfish and greedy to have that much money, so obviously no Christian should be rich. True followers of Jesus need to spend what money they have to and then give away the rest. It's clearly more holy to live on less. Does anyone have biblical references for any of this? So would God really be okay with us spending money on our families and those around us? Is it godly to meet your family's or your neighbor's needs and even their wants? It sounds kind of funny and obvious when you ask it like that, doesn't it? Well, let's look and see if Jesus had anything to say about this. Mark 7 verses 9 through 13 says, "And he said to them, 'You have a fine way of rejecting the commandment of God in order to establish your tradition. For Moses said, Honor your father and your mother, and whoever reviles father or mother must surely die. But you say, if a man tells his father or his mother, Whatever you would have gained from me is Corban, that is given to God, then you no longer permit him to do anything for his father or mother, thus making void the word of God by your tradition that you have handed down. And many such things you do.'" That seems pretty clear to me. Jesus rebuked the Pharisees and scribes for neglecting the word of God in favor of their own traditions. Now let me be clear, it is a tradition of man to neglect to take care of the needs of our families and our neighbors for the purpose of giving elsewhere. The word says, "A righteous man will leave an inheritance to his children's children." So this means a few things. One, a righteous man is going to need to generate enough money to be able to leave it to not only his children, but also his children's children. What is the definition of an inheritance? Well, it's generally considered to be more than a few dollars to each person. This also means a righteous man will purpose in his heart that he's going to give to his family both while he's living and after he has stepped into eternity. We've all heard or even lived through examples of people playing emotional games with their inheritance. If you don't make this decision or that decision, I'm taking you out of my will. If you don't keep me happy, you're not going to get an inheritance from me. That mentality absolutely does not come from God. It is not about performance and manipulation with God. In this example we see from Jesus, he rebuked the Pharisees for doing what looked holy. They appeared to be doing a great thing by declaring the money that they have is to be given to God. Remember, it always comes back to our hearts. The motivation of their hearts was to keep what they could for themselves and not have to spend it on their parents. Now that's another point. Even giving can be a very selfish action. Some give to bless others. Some give so that others will think well of them. Some give for tax write-offs and benefits to themselves. Some give so that they won't have to leave an inheritance for their family. What is your motivation? Why do you want to give? Now please know that I'm not advocating that we do not give to the church. Far from it. What we need to understand is that it is holy and blessed to give both to the church and to those around us. Giving to God requires that we have hearts submitted to Him and ears tuned to listen to His voice. We have always given to the church. My family also enjoys giving to other ministries and individuals. Yet I would say some of our most joyful giving has been to people in need. I can remember one time where God directed us to give a couple $100s to someone we knew who was struggling. Now, that's not a lot of money. I remember thinking to myself, how much can someone struggling to make ends meet do with a couple $100s? Well, I also remember getting a report back that this person fell to the floor in tears when they received the money. They talked about how they felt the tangible presence of God and started worshiping Him. There's a lot of ways we could have spent that money, yet there's only a few ways that would have led to that kind of praise and thanksgiving to our Father in heaven. That is what money is for. I've heard of several other similar stories. Some have given to families to keep them from being evicted. Do you think those families were grateful? And do you think there was much thanksgiving to God when they were able to stay in their home? Absolutely. I can also think of one other story that I've heard where a man accidentally lost his finger in a workplace accident. This man did not have insurance and he went to the hospital and was told that unless he could pay that day, they would not be able to reattach his finger. And so this family immediately stepped in and were able to give the money that was needed to save his finger. Now, again, these are the kind of things that bring thanksgiving. They bring great praise to God. This is why we have money. This is what giving is all about, is being able to meet needs in the moment like this. When I first started working on this concept of biblical financial literacy, I remember telling God, it's complicated. He responded back, it's simple. I felt like he told me, I bless you, you bless others. I keep blessing you, you keep blessing others. This is the basis of my money laws. When you look at it that way, it really is simple. Money is a blessing from God for us and our families. It's meant to bless us, and we need to be okay with that. But it doesn't stop with ourselves. It's also to be used to provide for and bless others. If we can keep this simple and not overcomplicate things, God will continue to bless us. Then we can keep blessing others as well. As the verse says, the man who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. A teacher of mine says, even a garden hose gets wet when water runs through it. Expect to be blessed and to bless others. If you enjoyed this and want more content like it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, I'm Kyle, and I'm believing with you for your biblical prosperity.